This is episode 67, Becoming an SLP. And we're back with another episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese.
I'm Maria.
I'm Deb.
And I'm just recording selfies of myself on the
I was
gram.
going to bring that up, but I got tongue-tied. I couldn't say it.
I got it. I'm multitasking.
Oh.
I took a selfie.
Mm-hmm.
It's, by
How's
the
it
time
look?
I don't love it, but, I'm not going to get hung up over that,
Right, there's more to life.
There is more to life.
Like filters.
Like filters, which I did use a fancy one, I think. It was pixelated kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to show the people that, we're here and we're recording. Because I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. So, what are we drinking?
We are drinking this Italian wine.
Yes.
It is
this very interesting man here on the cover.
Yeah.
With his, I don't know
on
what
the
kind
cover
of,
on the label.
on the label. What kind of outfit he's wearing here?
He looks like a lumberjack. It's an Italian red wine.
Yes.
But the guy looks like a lumberjack.
With flip-flops, I might add. So
Well, it's in the summer.
Right. In Italy. Just relaxing.
He's chilling.
Taking a 2-hour lunch break,
Mm-hmm.
as they do. So it's a Giandion il Farneto Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And we paired it with this provolone cheese, salami, and strawberries.
Yeah.
I think this wine has an interesting, I'll say, chalky. Is that the correct word?
Yeah.
Aftertaste?
A bit, yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Did you put something in this?
I didn't.
No, okay.
I didn't. It was just, that's the way it came.
Okay. I guess it contains sulfites. Is it the sulfites?
I saw that and I was like, oh, does that mean we're going to get a headache?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what all wine says, unless it does not have sulfites.
So I'm not sure exactly what that means, but that chalky kind of aftertaste, which I can't really recall if I ever had a wine with that kind of aftertaste, but I was glad that we had the provolone, which kind of masked the chalky aftertaste. So I did
mellowed it out a bit.
Yes, I liked the combo. So in terms of the wine, I'm going to vote sink it this time.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't know what was going on with that aftertaste. I was like, I'm going to obviously finish this glass.
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to throw this away. What am I,
Yeah, not
Definitely
an animal or anything.
drink. I'm not an animal or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drink it for now, but definitely sink it later.
You vote sink it?
So I'm going to vote sink it this time.
Yeah, I vote drink it, but not as many days later as when I've given it to you, because I opened this a couple days ago. So maybe it's just because it's been opened for a while.
But isn't wine supposed to I guess not
I think
taste
if it's
better?
closed.
If it's closed. Oh, so you didn't have the cork on it?
I did.
Oh.
But it still was open. I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows? But yeah, it did have a bit of a chalky taste to it. I would admit that.
Okay. Good. So I'm not crazy.
No.
So you're
not at
going
all.
to drink it or sink it?
I would drink it because it was good when I first had it.
I see. So I just got the leftover.
You did. Sorry. I had 2 bottles and you picked the one with that label.
I did pick the label. I judged it by the label because of this Italian man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, his interesting outfit got to me.
That's what you get for judging a bottle by its label.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
It's a valuable lesson we're learning every day. So, tell me about our exciting news.
We are going to be at ASHA in Orlando.
Yay.
We are going to have, Maria, you tell them what we're going to have while
Yes, get all the other info. So, we will have 2 different style of t-shirts for sale. I don't know if it's a surprise yet, so I'm just going to withhold that information. So stay tuned for that. We're not sure if we want to have it a surprise or not, but maybe you've seen the styles before on our Instagram. Maybe you haven't. So just saying. So 2 different types of shirts, wine glasses, magnet giveaways, sticker giveaways, and hopefully, if all goes well, a wine raffle.
Yes.
So we're going to have a wine and cheese raffle, and probably some crackers as well. So fun and exciting things. And obviously come to our booth and check us out and visit us and just say hi, just say, hey, I'm a listener, and just or you're not a listener, you still want to say hi, just randomly, just come on over. And we're really excited to meet all of the individuals at ASHA. Can't wait.
We are going to be member table 896. I was correct. I was just concerned that I was not. I wanted to make sure I was right. So yeah, come see us at table 896, and we'd love to chat with you.
Yes.
We're also going to have an after ASHA happy hour, probably that Thursday around 6:30 or 7 o'clock. We haven't picked a location yet. We have to figure out something that's cool with walking distance from the convention center. But stay tuned to our Instagram for more information about that. And come say hi to us at the booth. We'll tell you where we're going to hang out later.
Exactly. I'm excited.
Me too.
And the weather will be nicer than New York weather.
And
right?
Nicer than Boston last year.
And nicer than Boston last year, which was snowing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us walking around in the snow, carrying things, and we're just
Yeah.
where are we?
Mm-hmm.
Where has our life turned?
That was rough.
Was rough.
I haven't decided if I'm going to rent a car yet or not, or just take Ubers. I also have to figure out where I'm staying for 2 of my 4 nights.
Okay.
So I might get a fancy Airbnb. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with a pool.
Whoa.
Who knows if I'm going to show up to ASHA?
Wow.
No,
well, please show
I'll
up and help me at the booth to man the booth.
Yeah.
I do require frequent bathroom breaks.
You do.
I do. I drink a lot of water, which is very good for you. So
yes.
Not apologizing.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, so stay tuned because later on in the show, we have an interview that I have conducted with our lovely listener.
A lovely one.
Yeah, I had to.
Oh, I was like, did you do that on purpose?
I did.
Word finding issues?
Yes.
Or what was it?
Well, maybe it started as word finding issues.
And then you're just like, lovely's good. I'm going to stick with it.
I'm going to stick with it, but I feel like it's starting to irk you, so I will decide.
No, but I will point it out. I will continue to point it out.
Okay. So I conducted an interview with a listener who took initiative to be interviewed on the show.
Yeah, email us, and if you have an interesting story, we might put you on the show.
Yeah, see what happens. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for our interview with California Speechy. That's going to be her name.
Yeah.
Which is her Instagram.
London Lang.
London Lang.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she wanted to be named on
named
air.
ya. Sorry.
There she is. Her name is out there.
But so you guys talk about what it's like to be studying speech-language pathology, and she gives a lot of tips about what to do as a student. So you and I are going to chat a bit about what to do once being a student is over.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I am a CF supervisor. Do you ever see yourself doing that?
Yes. I'm still waiting for someone to just be like, hey, Maria, you want to take a CF? I'm not actively pursuing it because I have had grad students before. Mm-hmm. So I have I'm comfortable with that supervision role. Right. And I'm getting one soon enough. So I'm ready. And I have conducted my own interviews with the grad students.
I think my current placement is a perfect place for a grad student, and I would love to have one. And I think somebody should try to reach out to City Sounds of New York and see if they can be my placement person.
That would be nice. Are you scary a little bit, or?
I'm not as nice as people think I am, but I do want everyone to be better than me. So I'm not mean. I'm not like Devil Wears Prada mean. I'm more like, are you sure that this is the best use of any of our time? Time. Not just the child, not just theirs, mine too. All of
everybody's
us.
time.
Is everyone? Yeah. Because you're pulling kids out of class. It's very important.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Because you have to in terms of how I see it, what are you doing that is special or an expertise? Are you just sitting there reading a book? Anyone can do that. I could get a ninth grader to sit with a 5-year-old to read a book.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we need more. We need visuals. We need this. We need that. We need it all.
We need everything. We need to know how this is going to improve their academic performance within the classroom setting, or how this is going to improve their social life. If you're pursuing speech pathology in a different setting, how is this going to be functional to them?
Right.
Just like Speechy Morgan said, what is the functional outcome of this?
Correct.
Why are we doing it? How is it going to help?
Why are we doing it? That is the question.
Yes.
So why are we doing this now? We're going to pretend to interview each other.
Yes.
Right? We're doing this so people can be more prepared when they go on interviews,
Mm-hmm.
including us. You never know when an opportunity will present itself.
So before you do the job, you got to get interviewed, right?
Right.
So do you want me to interview you first? Or
Yes.
do you? Okay.
Yes, I would like to be interviewed
So,
first.
Maria, why do you want to work in the schools?
Okay, so it's in the schools. Okay. So this is, by the way, can we just mention this? That I did not know these questions were coming.
Just
so
like a real interview.
Straight off the dome. But when you go to interview, try to prepare.
Yeah.
Talk in the mirror.
But they're probably going to ask you this question.
But they probably will. So this is actually, as you listen to this episode, this is good practice.
Yeah.
Why do I want to work for the schools? Well, I think it's important to work for the school system because I want to work with children, and children, they're in school most of the time. So I feel like I would be helping the children in the area, in the setting where they have the most time and they require the most skills to improve as they grow older. So I feel like for me, I would be most effective in a school, and that is what will keep me striving to provide the best speech therapy I possibly can.
Okay, so you can make the greatest impact.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good. I like that. Can you give an example of a therapy activity you like to do?
Okay. I do like to do puzzles, but I wouldn't mention that on the interview, I don't think.
So
but
only the interview.
I'm sorry. I know. It's like what I'm thinking and what I'll say. Because you might have to learn to control your thoughts and what comes out of your mouth on an interview.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but
well, this is why I'm saying it, you know? So I really enjoy using board games, which I understand can sometimes be controversial. However, I think board games are very motivating. They're also very functional. Majority of our students have board games. And when I talk with parents, a lot of the parents are always asking, what can I buy? What can I do at home? And most of the parents, majority, do have at least one game.
Right.
And the game can obviously be altered to that I can ask questions about what they're learning in class. So instead of just quick drill question and answer, we're playing a game, we're working on turn taking, social skills, all in an activity that they can do at home as well.
Nice. That's a great answer.
Thank you. That is the truth.
And in your professional life, what is your biggest strength and your strongest weakness?
Oh, my strongest weakness?
Or your most significant weakness.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm really bad at this. Like,
right.
Okay.
Well, they might ask you I've been on lots of interviews where people are like, what's your weakness?
No. So my strength is my data collection because I like to take data. It helps me feel organized. And I like to keep my therapy data driven. And my weakness would be the time management. I don't want to say I'm late. I don't want to say that.
Right.
I want to say time management.
Right. Or to like maintain a schedule.
Right. Yes. So
whenever I was on an interview, I used to be like, I just work too hard.
But I did hear on
I'm just addicted to the game. Like, I can't stop, won't stop working. If you hire me, I will work too much.
I mean, I feel like me and you both work too much.
Yeah, but that's like a good answer.
It is a good answer.
I'm just too passionate about speech pathology.
Too overwhelming. I could also suggest to our listeners that if you're asked a question about like your weakness, I've heard it's always like mixed reviews. Depends on who you ask and what your source are. I always say like trust your instincts in the interview. You know, if it's a little more lighthearted, you know, maybe you can be like, I know it's my time management, but that's why I try to wear a watch. And hopefully that day you're wearing a watch. Right. And then you hold up your watch.
Right. And you're like, and this is how I have made up for this deficit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I am actually wearing a watch right now.
Right.
So.
You are.
Yes,
I noticed that watch. Is it new? It's shiny.
No, I just got the battery replaced. Just Michael Kors.
I was about to be like, is that why Maria's late? Because she looks at her clock and she's just like, oh, shiny. She forgets to look at the time.
That would be the perfect case of irony. I'm too busy.
Look how nice.
staring at my watch, my bling bling, that I lost all concept of time. Okay.
I forgot to put on my phone.
Did you have more questions?
No, I thought we settled on 3.
Yes. So did I get the job?
Yes, you're hired.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Great. Thank you. I have questions for you now.
Oh, shoot.
Right. So we're gonna roles are reverse. Want to stick with the school setting, or should we switch it up?
Hey, man, I'm just showing up for the job interview. What's your question?
Okay.
I'll let you know if I should be hired.
An adult rehab facility.
Okay.
People are going on interviews for those places as well. So tell me a situation where you had a challenge and how you handled it.
Within the adult setting, or can I just mention anything in my professional career?
Anything you would like, Miss Brooks.
So since I'm new to speech pathology, and I might not have participated in the speech pathology realm, I can mention very many challenges that I have been confronted with. All throughout undergrad and grad school, I was a waitress in a comedy club. And there I learned time management and how to work under pressure and problem solve, all within each show's 90 minutes. And I have to get everyone drinks, food, checks, and all paid out before the show ends. So this gave me, I feel like I gained a lot of communication skills within this job, but then also, like I mentioned, time management and being able to work under pressure. So now I feel like I can be confronted with a variety of situations and find my way out successfully.
Nice. Great. Okay.
I also didn't have any of my slides in a research class in grad school, and no one has forgotten it. And it wasn't that much of a challenge for me because I nailed my presentation because I knew everything about the IOP, but it was still nerve-wracking.
I'm sure it would have been a challenge for the listeners in the class. Like
only because they were so intently focused on what I was saying because they had no visuals. But I would say everyone listened to my presentation more than anyone else's.
I'm going to have to go with yes. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Tell me what you like to do in your spare time. I swear I have had just, younger SLPs go on interviews, and I'm always asking them, what do they ask you? What do they ask you? I think it's great to know as a professional. And someone told me that they were asked this. So I was like, this is interesting. But I understand why the supervisor asked this. So tell me what you like to do in your spare time.
Well, because, like I mentioned, I worked at a comedy club all throughout undergrad and grad school. I learned about comedy while I was simultaneously learning about speech pathology. And then I found the relationship between the two. Because what you're using in comedy is you're utilizing your language in order to elicit an involuntary response in a listener. So it's all like expressive language skills as well as receptive language skills. So the comedian has to say something meaningful and concise in order to get that reaction. So I became very interested in comedy, and I'm actually marrying a comedian because that's how much I really like comedy, I guess. And so I often go to comedy shows. And for a while, I did stand-up comedy, and I used to produce shows all around Brooklyn.
Wow.
Yeah. And in addition to that, I have a speech pathology podcast. I make speech pathology coloring pages, and I have a speech pathology Instagram.
Wow. So be prepared if you mention your Instagram that the employer will check it out. So
I tell everyone about it. Not that I would say it on this interview because theoretically I don't have this Instagram because I'm new.
Right, yeah. Unless you do. Hey.
I could. Yeah, I could. But yeah, I tell everyone because I don't want anyone to think I was deceiving. I don't want to take videos somewhere and give out photo release forms somewhere.
Right.
And not have if somebody is uncomfortable with that, they should know before and not hire me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I always tell.
That's good. Yeah. I was going to say, with the comedy stuff, the employer might be like, interesting. Would you be interested in working with the residents and in using your skills in comedy with your speech sessions?
Yes, I actually always do.
Oh,
I like to tell, more shorter jokes. Because you can work on WH questions, what do you call a blank that blanks,
Right.
And then have an answer and, whether or not. So, the recognition of humor requires several I can't speak. The recognition of humor requires several cognitive aspects, such as recognition of incongruity in a situation, identification of similar sound sequences, homophones, metaphors, similes, figurative language, onomatopoeia, text to life situations, theory of mind.
Wow.
So all of that, and it's small because jokes have to be, you know, either 30 seconds or maybe a really long joke might be like 2 minutes.
Right.
And then also recall and working memory, because one of the funniest things in comedy is a callback. So if you tell a joke and then you tell 3 more jokes and then you say a tag that has to do with a joke 2 jokes prior,
right,
that makes people laugh even harder because they remember that you said it before.
So you're going to incorporate memory strategies. We require that here at our rehab facility.
Working memory, yeah, because, you know, individuals who have brain damage might suffer in that area.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
okay.
And they also might struggle to comprehend abstract concepts.
Absolutely, our residents do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and one more question. Why should we hire you?
You should hire me because I show up every day with enthusiasm, and I might not always know exactly what to do, but I do know where to find that answer, and I won't stop until I find it.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, You're welcome.
Great. Shake hands, you know.
Okay.
And great, you got the job, Deb.
Thank you. I'm
Deb
hired.
is the rehab comedy SLP.
I mean, they didn't ask me if I know anything about dysphagia.
No.
But
no, we kept it light.
I have never gone on an interview and not brought up comedy because
really?
It always changes the subject, and everyone's like, "You've met," well, before Louis C.K. pissed off the world, people are always like, "You've met him?" So, yeah, it's just like
cool.
It changes the whole subject.
Have you met Chris Rock?
Yeah, it's several times.
Interesting. I watched his Tambourine Netflix special.
Was
I
it
didn't
good?
love it. I've liked his older stuff better. Does that just always happen with comedians as they get more and more famous?
It depends. Sometimes, like the newer ones. I like Dave Chappelle's new one a lot.
Oh, yes. The Age of Spin.
Yeah, I mean, like, not everything's going to be great. But
Sure.
I don't know. The first time I met Chris Rock, I was pouring coffee, and then somebody walked into the kitchen behind me and was like, "This is the best waitress ever. This one right here is the best waitress ever." And I was like, "Who the?" And then
it was Chris
him.
Rock?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he was just like walking in and being silly.
You should include that into your interview.
Yeah, Chris Rock. I'm endorsed by Chris Rock.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He says I'm the best waitress ever, not the best speech pathologist, but
right.
He didn't see me in that capacity.
He didn't see you in that capacity. He has to check out your videos.
Right. So then what else? So now you went on the interview, you nailed it, you gave. So I think that what's most important is not like what you say, but how you say it.
Truth.
So don't sit there frightened, because then it's like, why do I want to hire you? How are you going to help anyone? You look like you can't help yourself.
Yeah. Confidence.
Yeah. So just get in there and feel good about yourself, and it will show through.
Yeah.
But you should give better advice, because my advice is always like, have faith in yourself. Don't be afraid. And
well,
like
I was
some
gonna give
people
an interesting similar
always
one.
Okay.
I think we've said it on the show to like be like a duck. Like, yes, you're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be excited, or whatever you want to say, because you care about this job, right? You wouldn't have really went on this interview if you didn't care for it. So you obviously have emotions attached to it. So you feel a certain way inside, but on the outside, look cool.
Right.
Like
yeah,
the
look
duck
cool.
floating on the water. They look so, on the surface, they look so cool and graceful. But under the water, they are flapping away with their, what is it? What do they have?
Those
webbed feet.
Webbed feet.
They are pedaling away like very, very, very quickly. So try to hide it. Just think of that. Just don't look nervous. I am nervous. Because I think it might be too much pressure to not feel nervous. Like, it's like inevitable that you're going to feel nervous on an interview. So just tell yourself, like, just try not to look nervous.
I honestly don't ever feel nervous.
Okay.
And I haven't gotten every job I've gone on. I'm just
Right.
like, oh, it wasn't for me. What
Yeah.
have?
Exactly. Yeah.
But the job I have now, I remember like I was nervous only because like I parked at a meter and it was going to expire. So I remember being like, I have to go. So like, if you want to hire me, you can let me know. Like through email or on the phone. And they still bring that up. No, I was like, I have to pay the meter.
Yeah.
Like I can't stay here anymore.
This is New York City problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people get it.
So then now that you become the SLP and you're starting your therapy as a CF supervisor, these are things I like to see. Keep it moving. Don't waste time letting them go get water. If somebody says, if you sit down and a kid is like, can I get water? You can say yes when we walk back to class.
Okay. It's intense, but okay.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. I have to keep. And then even if they really need water or really need to go to the bathroom, I'm like, we need to do one task prior to you leaving.
Yeah.
You have to sit down and do one thing first. But then also don't be a robot. Like, don't have a script here and think like, I'm just going to read a story, because it's like, how, like Maria said earlier, how is that going to be different than what's happening in the class, and how is that going to carry over and generalize to a like bigger skill that they need to use? Have 3 to 5 therapy activities planned. So, and then don't make anything, I don't like anything being longer than 7 minutes. Okay. Really, it's like drop it and move on to something else at that point. Everyone has like 4 goals minimum in speech. Do your people not?
No.
In my school I came into, everyone had like a minimum of 4 goals.
Wow.
How many do you guys have?
Usually 2.
2 speech therapy goals?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, you have a different population.
Right.
And you've also been that SLP in that chair for a long time. Many other schools have a higher turnover rate, so several other people are writing IEP goals. Does your school request only 2?
No, they just say as many as you think. 2 is fine, 3 is good. If you have like 4, that's like crazy. I don't know who like.
I put 4: an expressive, a receptive, a pragmatic, and a phonological or phonemic awareness, or an articulation.
Okay.
So it's like will report on a topic, will answer implicit WH questions, will produce S-blends, and will generate rhymes for given words.
It's hard because they have to be like, I don't know, like met by a certain time. So like a WH question, like for like my population, like is going to be like a long-term goal. A what question? It has to be like a specific, like what doing question for like 10 verbs. Let's say you have to be like super specific.
Yeah.
So I can't give this like crazy, like 4 different goals when it's like too broad. It has to be like very specific.
Right. And that's why it's individualized.
Goal. When they surpass it, then we're like, oh, look, we surpassed it.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. And then my last one is, lots of times when I'm supervising people, I find them being like, oh, tell me a story about this. And that's so ambiguous. So I think it's better for you to tell them a story and then ask them questions about it and see if they can repeat it. If you have somebody with that level of ability.
Right. So, or you could have like a kind of like, well, like a script, but like I guess like a script, like a template. The story was about blank.
Right.
The characters were blank. Like if you're doing like Brady or Story Grammar.
Right.
And if they could at least like memorize or read.
Yeah. When I make up a story, I'll be like, once there was a potato head who wanted to be a circus person, but he didn't have a hat. So he went to the toy store and he got a new hat, and finally he auditioned for the circus. So now you tell me that story. Once there was a potato head.
Yeah.
Instead of like handing a kid 2 toys and be like, tell me a story.
Yeah.
And see if they have narrative language skills.
It might be too hard.
Yeah. So give them a story and use like, once there was a blank who wanted to blank, but blank, so blank, finally blank. So like character, motivation,
or whatever you want to call it.
Problem, solution. Yeah.
Got it.
Something
Just
like
drinking
that.
some wine as you give all your knowledge away.
Well, this is for the beginning SLP, I thought, right?
Yes. No, that's good.
Yeah.
So, speaking of SLPs, for the beginning SLP, you can check out slpawards.us. And SLPs deserve awards for being so fantastic. And you can even follow this account at slpawards.us. And yeah, you could brighten up an SLP's day by just sending them this award. That could be a nice, like, welcome to the job award.
Yeah, you can have something like most awesome is future SLP, binge watched every season of The Office while writing reports award, most therapy materials in your cart award, and more.
I know a lot of people with the materials in the car.
I have a ton. You can't even use my trunk for groceries anymore.
Oh, no. Gotta clean that up. But each award is $6, and you can get free shipping with the code, all capitals, wine and cheese. All one word.
Yeah.
Wine and cheese.
So go to slpaward.us. This episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese is brought to you by SLP Toolkit. Hi, everyone. This is Deb, and I'm here with Sarah and Lisa of SLP Toolkit. What's up, ladies?
What's up?
We're breaking down 10 reasons why you need Toolkit in your SLP life, and today we're coming at you with reason number 5, the goal generator. This streamlines goals and ensures that all goals are SMART.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to out Sarah right now and say that she was not a SMART goal writer. I'm not even talking about the acronym. They just weren't smart. No, she always knew what she wanted to work on, but she would always phone a friend, AKA me, and say, does this make sense? And my first response would be like, no, you've got too many words in there. I don't know what skill you're measuring. So that's the idea of this. It's not even a goal bank per se. It's more of a drop-down list to guide whatever it is that you need to work on with the student and really hone in on that direct, observable skill that you are measuring in treatment. And then from there, you can use the other drop downs to make things like the level of support and how you're measuring it and how often you're measuring it. That kind of stuff will fill in as well.
Yeah, we no joke built this entire feature for me as I did. I needed it to be very easy to write specific, measurable goals where I knew exactly what I wanted to target, and I wrote it in a concrete way. That was a really big struggle for me. I was like the queen of the mega goal or goals that only I could understand. So this takes away all the guesswork and helps you to write really great goals that are individualized to your students' needs.
Right. And they're still editable. So even after you use all those drop-down menus, it still puts it in a text box where you still have the opportunity before finalizing that goal to change any wording or anything specific that you'd like to add to that goal.
That's right, Deb. We put the I in IEP. It's individualized.
That's right. So sign up for free at slptoolkit.com, and when you're ready to subscribe, use the promo code Wine and Cheese to get $24 off the annual fee or your first month free.
SLP's Wine and Cheese is on Patreon. Do you love our show and want more, and more? You are in luck. Check us out at www.patreon.com/SLP's Wine and Cheese for bonus content.
There you can see video interviews with our guests, bonus episodes. We put up therapy materials, data trackers, and more. Patreon is a platform that allows creators to receive funding for the projects that they create, and we would love your support.
And now our interview with London Lang. Hey everyone, so I am sitting here virtually with a listener. Her name is London Lang. Welcome to the show.
Hello everybody, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for being a listener, and it's always great to hear from our listeners. So why not sit down on this Friday night and get to know each other?
Yeah, it sounds good.
What are you drinking? You tell us first, London.
I am drinking a rosé. It's made in Paso Robles, but they sell it at Malibu Wines. It's pretty good. I got it on sale because it was supposed to be sparkling, and they ended up not putting the sparkle in it. But I'm all about a good rosé, so I bought it anyways, and it was on sale, so it's a plus.
I like it. You're a bargain shopper.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Me too. I'm a bargain shopper too.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking, of course, this is the last bottle. This is our bitch wine that we've had maybe 20 million episodes on. It's because we got a huge shipment of them and they didn't come in time for our live show. So me and Deb just drank them, you know?
Yeah.
Don't rely on us to do that. So that with my very Greek wine, my Greek cheese, my feta, and it's from the Greek supermarket. So
it's got to be good.
Salty. Yeah, it's very salty, but it goes really well with this wine. So I'm going to take a sip of this wine. I forgot what it tastes like. All right. It's strong, but not too strong. So definitely, we've said it 100 times, definitely drink this wine.
All right. I'm going to have to get a bottle of that.
Yeah, the called bitch wine, and it's a Grenache grape, which you said is one of your favorite wines, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So is yours a rosé? What do you drink? Sorry.
Mine is a rosé. Yes, the one I'm drinking today is a rosé.
Fancy.
Yes,
but more of a rosé girl, or you like wine, white wine?
I do. I like white wine, and I do like rosé as well. And I just don't really like the sweet whites or the sweet rosé. I'm more keep it dry.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
look at this.
We're just clicking.
We're clicking already. We've clicked before, and I barely even remembered that. Everything's great. Could be crazy sometimes. About you're gonna go to Greece soon, right?
I am. I'm going to go on a trip with my family, and one of our stops is in Greece. I'm going to butcher the names here, so I know that you'll be able to help me out.
I'll help you.
I think we're going to Crete.
Oh, Crete.
Crete, totally off, but thank you.
Okay.
And then Corfu.
Corfu. There you go.
Awesome. And then we are also going to, let's see, where else? Athens, which I can never see the official name for that one.
Athens. Maybe you mean the air. What do you mean the official?
Starts with a K.
K. What's K? I don't know.
Catatonon or something. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay, I know Italy has Catania. That's where I flew into this past summer.
Okay, maybe one of our listeners will know.
Yeah,
what we're talking about.
Send me I'm a visual learner. I'm like, maybe if I saw the word you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But
And there's Hercloin. Hercloin?
Hercloin? Heraclio, maybe? But that's in Crete.
Oh.
That's
maybe. Yeah, that sounds right.
How many days total do you have in Greece?
I think we have about 6.
Oh, wow. You're going to be bouncing all over because Crete is...
Yeah, 4 to 6.
Yeah, Crete is the biggest island in Greece, and that's south, very south. Similar to like Sicily, like the southernmost island. In Italy, they have their own culture, their own types of cooking, types of food. And then Corfu is more northwest, and it's closer to Italy. So you have like
okay.
is it the Adriatic Sea? I want to say it is. So you'll have a whole nice
yeah
of island. So
lots of good food.
Going on vacation.
Cheers! Woo!
Cheers! Virtual cheers. So
yeah,
thank you.
Your trip looked amazing, Maria. So I was very inspired.
I'm here to inspire people to travel. I think it's the best thing you could spend your money on.
I agree. That and wine and cheese.
That and wine and cheese, of course.
And Target dollar spot therapy items.
Okay. All right. London already knows her stuff. So I'll give the listeners a little background about you. So London is a student clinician in her final semester of graduate school in the very sunny California. She has a BA in psychology with a minor in communications and a BS in communication sciences and disorders.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, you did a lot of stuff already.
A lot of school.
And now you've completed your clinical placements in the school, in the hospital, and in university settings. Mm-hmm. So recently you just finished working in your externship in a hospital, correct?
Yes, that is correct. An outpatient and a little bit in inpatient.
That was all together in one externship?
Yeah.
Like split between a hospital and an inpatient and...
Yeah, so it was inpatient and outpatient.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
When the patients got discharged, they went to the outpatient and you were like split between inpatient and outpatient?
Yeah, so my main area was an outpatient, but I got some opportunities to volunteer in inpatient too, because I wanted to see more of the acute setting. So I was really thankful for that opportunity.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many days a week were you there, both inpatient and outpatient?
My externship was a little bit different because most of my peers have like a semester-long externship. Mine was once a week, so it was a whole year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a year-long externship on Saturdays, and then I was adding on a couple days here and there just to get more experience. So at least once a week.
So is that how your school did it, or you chose that option for whatever reason?
That's how my school did it. It was an opportunity that was available. So they set it up that way for me for a year. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
What school is this, by the way? We forgot to
California State University, Northridge.
Nice.
Yes.
Are you from California originally?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
And you're blonde too. You got the whole California look, and the window is sunny, and I'm in New York with my dreary window behind me. Just all New York.
It is really hot. I'm wearing a sweater, but it is really warm outside. Actually, it's super windy in California right now. There's a bunch of fires happening, so Yeah. So it's still sunny outside, but there's a lot going on out there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So be safe with those fires.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody else does too.
Yeah, same here. So what did you like about your most recent externship in the hospital setting? We'll just call it the hospital setting.
I think I really enjoyed just working with different individuals who had neurogenic communication disorders. I kind of found a little passion there with aphasia and then also dysphagia as well. And I just, I had great supervision. I feel so lucky. My supervisors are mentors to me. So yeah, it was a great experience. If anyone's interested in the hospital setting, I would definitely jump on it. You learn a lot.
Absolutely. I did an externship in a hospital setting, but I didn't love it, but it was a lot. I think it was just because it was the end of the semester. I was studying for the comps. I was even going through a breakup. It was just too much, and I didn't think the hospital was like for me. I was like going to the bathroom and crying. So
Yeah.
maybe not a career choice for me. I was offered the job and I turned it down, and I don't think my supervisor loved that because it's hard to even get that offer, and I was just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to be miserable for my CF.
Yeah, that's a lot to go through, and it is a lot to learn, in the medical setting. It's very complex.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do have a passion in all areas of speech language pathology. So, I love working with kids and I love working with adults. So I feel like all of my experiences have been really great so far, and I feel fortunate for that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
To that.
Woohoo.
Woo-hoo. Take a sip of this. So did you get to see a lot of like bedside evaluations or?
In my externship setting, I didn't get to see a lot of bedside. I did for a few inpatient, but I actually got more experience in there volunteering at the hospital. I got lucky again and met with a really great person who was willing to take me on as a volunteer. So I get to volunteer and observe in the hospital speech side of things. So yeah, I see a lot of bedside swallows, fees, or MBSS, and yeah, it's really rewarding to see, people have good outcomes in the hospital setting.
Yeah, no, that's great to see. Did you
Yeah.
get scoped yourself?
I have, yes. Yes.
Jealous too.
I
right now, but at Asha apparently last year in Boston they were scoping, and she was like, "What the hey,"
Oh.
She may have gotten a chance to get scoped or do the scope. So, what was that like being scoped?
I actually did it at the USC Voice Center. They held a conference, or not a conference. They hold a training there. So a friend of mine and I went, and it was great. It was definitely an experience. They numbed our nose, and I got to get scoped, and I got to scope others, and we did a rigid scope as well.
Wow.
But my hand was so shaky. My poor friend, her nose was destroyed after because I'm a first timer. So, yeah, I'm happy to admit that I wasn't very great, but I'm hoping to become better in the future.
Yeah. You haven't even graduated yet, and you already spoke someone. So, like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience, but I would love to learn more and get more practice on that so I can, do it on others professionally.
Without a shaky hand.
Yeah, without a shaky hand. It's very important to not have a shaky hand when you're dealing with that kind of equipment.
Did they give any tips like how to not? Like I would think like holding your elbow. I don't know. Like or I don't.
They didn't exactly address my shaky hand issue, but they were very supportive. They were standing right there, the doctors, and they were very supportive of the whole situation. Like, you've got this. Just move it a little this way, move your hand that way, and eventually got in there. So,
Wow.
Saw the vocal folds.
How were they?
Good. Yeah.
Excellent.
Good mucosal wave. No secretions.
No secretions.
Yeah.
And you had to like phonate and say like and e.
Yeah. And then glides like ooh. I didn't do that well, but Yeah.
I know what you were doing.
Yeah.
How was your scope? Your vocal folds looking good?
They looked great. It was really cool to see my own folds. I've always wanted to see them. I actually went to an ENT once, and I was like in patient mode and was too afraid to be like, "Can I see them?" So it was nice to actually see my own folds move.
I actually want to go to ENT too, because sometimes I feel like my voice can get like hoarse, or it's not as loud as I want it to be. So
Mhm.
I have to go to an ENT, and I'm like, "Can I look too?"
Yeah. If you, yeah, think of me. Just definitely ask, because I feel like I regretted not asking.
Okay, I definitely will. I'll really
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah.
Through your placement and obviously through your studies, you found that you're very interested in neurogenic communication disorders. So like
Mhm.
aphasia,
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, dementia, any of those neurogenetic.
Yeah, and so right now I'm kind of in the process of applying for jobs, and I feel like I'm in a position where I am so willing to learn about everything right now. So I've just been looking for jobs where I can get as many opportunities as possible. So one of the jobs that I'm really interested in is a private practice that sees adults and children in multiple settings.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping that falls through. So yeah.
So now you're applying to jobs, right?
Yes.
So before we talk about job, I'm interested in how the job hunt is going. You're also studying to take the comps, right?
I am studying to take comps. It's going well. I took the Praxis first. I don't know, do you guys, how that works for you guys?
Yeah, we take the Praxis exam right before we graduate. Well, that's how I did it, but I
Okay.
could take it whenever, I think. I'm not, it's been so long. So I'm glad
Yeah.
because you're like living it.
Yeah.
Tell us how that's going.
So I know some people take the Praxis before they take their comprehensive exam, or some take them after. I took Praxis before because I wanted to get a better feel for the multiple choice aspect and see what I really knew. So I took practice tests on the ETS website. There's really good practice tests on there that you could use to kind of get an idea of where you're at and what you need to study for. So that was helpful. And then there's also a book called The Advanced Review of Speech Language Pathology, something like that. And that's really helpful too. There's quizzes on the back of each chapter, and I'm using that for comps as well, both of those resources, because they're both great. And so I took Praxis, passed it, and now I'm moving into comps. Resources for comps that are really great are the ASHA practice portal. Tons and tons and tons of stuff on there.
See, this is why we need some young blood on the show. Me and Deb were like, we don't remember. We remember what we did like 2 weekends ago,
Yeah.
On the line at all times.
I probably won't remember next week anyways.
So that's a good thing we have this recorded. We have evidence.
Yeah. Yes. So the practice portal is great. There is a ton of clinical topics on there, so you can go by topic, and then it'll tell you treatment, assessment, signs and symptoms, references, and then you can take that and then go to the evidence maps on ASHA, and you can see current evidence for the different disorders and areas in speech language pathology, and that's great. And then, aside from that, I've been looking at my textbooks, reading up on who's known in that area so I can kind of look back at their research. And then also I have been looking at the Informed SLP, which is super helpful.
Yeah, she was a guest on our show.
Yeah, I love that website. It's so helpful. I'm definitely going to keep that subscription because I can just look up the topic and find what I'm looking for. And it's an easy read. I mean, with comps, there's so much to read. And listen to podcasts because that helped me a lot.
Plug for it. No, I didn't to say this.
I know. I didn't get paid to say any of this. But yeah, that
podcast is helpful. I don't know if ours is helpful, but
yeah, you guys say lots of informative stuff. That's why I started listening to it, because in grad school it's hard to kind of pick what resources to use, and there's just so much to learn and it's overwhelming. So if you have realistic SLPs talking about stuff in the field, it helps you, think about, okay, oh, I need to know that. Like, what is that? Oh, I got to look that up. What are they talking about? So yeah. And there's a lot of SLP podcasts. So, and it's easy to listen to in the car and,
on your way to your externship or to class, or even when you're just driving around.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing to study for comps. If anyone has any other recommendations, please reach out to me, because
I'll think of what I did. Well, I took that that book, Advanced Review of Speech Pathology. I had that book. And then I think we had like study groups, like the girls in my cohort. As say now, we just said the girls in my class. Back in the day, we just said the girls in my class, and I remember we all like collectively wrote like bullet points about like every topic. Like, you have fluency, you have voice, you have dysphagia, and then we made this like huge like 30 to 40 page document of just like bullet points, and share it on the Google Drive or however else you want to share it, and then you could all have that great and incredibly long and tedious stuff.
Yes. For my comps, they changed it this year, so they're having us do an oral portion on top of the multiple choice.
Really?
So they're asking us 2 case studies, and we have to have references ready to cite whatever it is that they're going to present to us. So I'll
like a study guide on a piece of paper.
No, we don't have anything. Well, we're allowed to have a binder. We have 30 minutes to review that binder, write down whatever we can really quick, have references ready, and then we go into a room, and they essentially are gonna ask us, what diagnosis is this? What's the treatment? What's the assessment and then treatment? So yeah.
Because my comps for St. John's was like 100 or something like that, multiple choice questions.
Okay, so yeah, we have multiple choice and oral, but it's functional. I just had a job interview where they asked me about a case, and I had to on the spot say stuff. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some jobs that you have to do like a sample like session.
Oh.
You have like background now, so be prepared for that.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. They give you the tools. You could read the paperwork on this. This is mostly for young children or like student age. And then be prepared the next time you go for your follow-up interview to have like a 10-15-minute session with that student.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you pick out all the visuals. Upon visuals upon visuals.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind if that happens to me.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Great info for anyone in your shoes, which I think a lot of our listeners are.
Yeah.
So since you're studying right now, you gave us a lot of helpful tips, which was great. Do you have any advice to undergrads?
Yeah, sure. So for undergrads who are trying to get into a graduate program,
a lot of questions about like what to apply, what to write in their essay, and me and Deb like don't even remember like what happened again like last week. So we're like, we don't know how to help these people. So
oh well,
that for the future fellow SLPs.
Yes. Okay. So the way I went about it was, if you're still in undergrad, I would try and reach out to somebody who's involved in research. And I know you mentioned this, Maria, on one of your.
I did. Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I said. The future's going.
Yeah. So if you can get into research, I would definitely try, because I feel like that helped me out with applying or getting into grad school. I also kept my GPA up. I took the GRE 3 times because I wasn't happy with my score.
Right.
And I applied to 10 different schools in California, because and I actually applied to NYU online. I got in, but but it was a longer program, and CSUN was closer, and it was in person. So I don't know. But anyways, going back. So you're going to want to make sure you do research. You're going to want to make sure that you, if you can, keep your GPA up, take your GRE and get the score you want. Get your letters of recommendation from people who are professors in that discipline.
Yes, good tip.
Yes, because I know sometimes people will, try and get from a different discipline, but it will really shine if you have somebody who is in the field. Also, if just have good connections with your professors, and it can just be one email. I know that a lot of professors are hard to connect with sometimes. So, all you have to do is send them an email and let them know that you're looking, have a conversation with them. And they're, usually pretty understanding. They know you're trying to get somewhere. So,
Exactly.
I would
I think also like to try to make that impression. So like,
yeah,
like sometimes annoying to like raise your hand in class, but like you do have to take that initiative so that professor knows you, because
yeah.
if you were like quiet sitting in the corner the whole time. Sorry, this is my one of my best friends texted me about her boy drama. So I'm like,
Oh,
fucking wait right now. We're talking about speech. So boys, they just ruin everything.
I know.
Cutting into our important conversation about the future.
Yes.
So if you're one of those students that just like
Yes.
who's in the corner and not participating, and then at the end of the semester you go up to your professor and it's like the second word you've uttered,
Yeah.
hey, can you write me a recommendation letter?
Yeah.
I mean, they hopefully they say yes. Like as a professor, I think they should say yes. That's my opinion. But if they know you more and you're raising your hand and you're sharing your experiences, and you're asking questions, I think that letter would be a lot more detailed rather than their like basic letter. That
Yeah.
like to have like that letter to have some substance to it.
Yeah, you want to be memorable, and you you want them to remember your face, because they might have a template that they're using for letters of recommendation. So you don't want to be that template. You want to be a unique individual that people see from a grad program and are like, oh, she has something to bring or he has something to bring to the table. Let's have them come to our program. So. And it's so competitive. So
Super competitive.
yeah, make sure you're applying to more than one place because it's hard to get in.
It is. It's really hard, and I know there's a couple of their SLPs now. But when we were applying together, or maybe a year or two apart, they didn't get in right away, or the second time, and like it does take time. Eventually, if this is really something you want to pursue, you might not get in the first time. You might
Yeah.
do some, I don't know, resume building if you want to call it, or application building, but can't give up if this is really what you want.
Yeah, and on that same note, if you don't get in right away and you have your degree, it might be worthwhile to try and work as a slipper so you can get some experience. I didn't do that.
Allows you. Does California allow? Because New York doesn't have slip-ups.
Okay, yes, California does allow it. You'd have to, you have to get your hours, and there's a whole process. But I do have friends that did that before they started the grad program. So, and it helped them when they got in. They had more. They had more
Experience.
experience. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we gave a lot of tips, right?
Yes, and then also for your essay.
Oh, for your essay. Yeah. See, this is what I mean. Tell me more.
You're going to want to add why you are valuable to them in there, not just why you are interested in their program. Because they're going to see you and they're going to be like, okay, why are they interested in speech language pathology? What brought them here? What do they have to offer? What have they done so far that's different than all of the other people applying? So make sure you include that into your letter.
That's really important. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And do you, like, when you wrote your letter, did you have like a lot of people read it? Like I had like everybody read my letter. I was like, hey, you read my letter. Like I was just like
Yes. I had like 4 or 5 people just read it. So yeah, make sure you have somebody read it. That's a good point. Because sometimes you look at it for so long, you might miss something. I know that I've written emails that I've read 3 times over, and then I realize later that I forgot a period or something. So, sometimes you just don't see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For your school, California State University?
Correct? Northridge, yes.
Northridge. Did you have an in-person interview?
No, we didn't.
I didn't either. I've heard schools do, but
Yeah, we didn't have one, so I don't know too much about that.
Going? Oops. How's the interview going now for jobs? Because I know we said we would talk about that.
It's been great. Tips for that, I would say make sure you have a cover letter.
Yes. Oh my, yes, you're bringing me back. I remember that you should definitely have that.
Yeah. Make sure you have a cover letter because people submit resumes all the time, and you want to have something a little bit more, just get in there a little bit more so people notice you. Make sure you have your resume stands out a little bit. If you need to, add a little bit of color at the top with your name. And make sure that you send a thank you after your interview.
So important.
Yeah, because if they don't know if you liked the interview or not, and it's a good opportunity, so you want to be appreciative of their time.
You could even get like classy and send a handwritten one also.
Yes. Yeah, handwritten. That sounds really nice. Yes.
I sent a handwritten one to my supervisor when I got hired finally to work for the school system.
Yeah.
I'm gonna handwrite her one. Can we keep it very classy,
Yeah, that is nice.
Yes,
it's a nice touch.
It is a touch, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like in interviews it can be kind of difficult to talk about yourself, because you're kind of on the spot and they're like, what do you have to offer to my company?
Right.
But this is your time to shine, and think, even if you have to talk to yourself in the car before you get to the interview. Yeah, think about your qualities. Think about why you would be a good employee. Think about why your friends love you and why your family likes to be around you. What do you have to bring to the table? It can be personality traits. It can be skills. It can be assessments that you've given. Think about a challenge you've encountered and how you fixed it. Think about a something you really enjoyed, and or a light bulb moment that you had. Because I might ask you about that, so you can be ready that way.
Absolutely, these are great. I'm gonna just sit back, have time. Like, we get all those.
Oh, cheers!
You're like a motivational speaker.
Oh, okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm usually listening to others because I need it, but I'm happy to help if anyone's listening.
It's absorbed now, and you're able to retell it.
Yes, exactly.
Before expressive, like that.
Yes, receptive before expressive, exactly.
See, there you go. That I remember from grad school. So
yes.
when you're not busy studying and giving really great advice, do you have some free time to hang out? Yes, you said you have a dog. You have 2 dogs, right?
I do. I have 2 dogs, Bruno and Rocco. They're one is a full German Shepherd. The other one is a little mix. And they're a blast. I love them so much. What else? I love cycling. That's what I do for exercise. I get all of my negative energy that way and insert some positive.
Good. Do you do Soul Cycle?
I do. Yes.
I have to take one of those classes because they're all about like the body, mind, soul, and I'm like,
it is so fun. It is. They play this music. You get really into it. You dance while you're on the bike. You do some weights. And then they have these motivational talks where you just feel like you just completely had this therapeutic moment, and then you leave and you're like, okay, I'm reset. I got this.
Also why you're really good at giving these really grateful tips.
Yeah, maybe I'm catching on at Soul Cycle. I don't know.
Connected,
I'm not paid to talk about Soul Cycle either.
Right, no, they are not a sponsor of this show, even though they should be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Go to this podcast, we drink wine and eat cheese.
Yes.
You want to talk about how healthy it is to cycle?
Yeah. Yes. But I also love to garden.
Yeah.
I have a lot of plants.
For it, so that's good.
And what else? I'd like to cook. Those are what I do, and I just try to make time for personal stuff. It doesn't always happen, but I do try.
It's a juggling act. It's a balance. Some days you're gonna focus more on maybe your cycling. You're gonna do a great class. Then when you come home, you might be too tired to study. And sometimes the opposite. You're gonna hit the books for 3 hours, and the last thing you want to do is cycle.
Right.
So it's a give and take, and that's
just
You gotta accept it for what it is.
Yeah, and I feel like in grad school that is such a big thing, is finding that balance, making sure, I mean, I just talked about this on my stories today, like making sure you have 5 to 10 minutes to yourself, and like just to reset in the quiet, or reading a book, or having a glass of wine. Just do something for yourself at least once in the day.
So would
Listen
that
to a podcast?
Yeah, listen to a podcast. Thank you. Another plug. Thank you. No. Another humble plug, they call it. So would that be your quote that you like to live by? Because we usually like to end our episodes with a quote or a mantra. Is there a certain one that comes to mind?
My mantra right now is you can and you will. It's actually on my wall right now. My friend was giving me a motivational talk actually just a couple days ago, and was saying, you need a mantra.
Yes.
So that's my mantra right now. You can and you will.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And I will drink this wine. That's
yes, I can and I will drink this wine too.
Yes. Cheers. Another cheers. Do you have any words aside from that? Well, aside that could be, I guess, how you could leave our listeners, right? And any last thing you want to get off your chest that you didn't say?
If you guys have any questions about grad school or practicing or studying for comps or really anything, you can find me at California Speechy on Instagram. And yeah, I would love to answer any questions that you have. And so
you'll be on our page after this episode airs, so they'll really be able to find you.
Great. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Maria and Deb, for having me on your show. I listen to your show all the time, so it's cool to actually see you and put your face with your voice, because I usually listen to you, and I follow you on Instagram as well. But thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for reaching out. Look, so she took initiative, and look, she can and she will be on the show.
That's right. Cheers.
You never know. Maybe one day we'll meet in real life.
Yeah. At an ASHA convention, maybe. I'm not going this year, but I know you guys have a booth.
We're going this year. We have a booth. I should know the booth number. I want to say it's 896. Not.
I know it's in the 8. I heard it on your last episode.
Right. It is in the 8, and I should know the answer to that. But by the time I go and search for my phone, there's too much dead air. So we'll be.
You'll be there.
I'll be there. Me and Deb and I will be there, partying it up at ASHA at our booth.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's our show, everyone. Thanks for listening to SLP's Wine and Cheese. We have new episodes every week, so be sure to subscribe.
Also, we'd appreciate it if you would like and review us on iTunes. If you love the show and want more bonus content, check out patreon.com/SLP's Wine and Cheese.